Alright class, today is kind of like the second day of ellipses. We are just figuring out how to get the equation and graph the hyperbola based on the information. So the first thing I'm going to note is we have vertices at 1, 5, which means, and 1, -1, which means it opens up and down. Now because of that, we can find the center. That's usually what we have to do first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means if the distance is 6, the major axis, we don't really call it that anymore, but it's 3 for the RY, so RY equals 3. So I know that. I know my center is there. And I know a focus is at 1, -7. That seems very far away. 1, -7. So that's way down here. Okay. And then that would be, what is that? How many away from the center? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means your focal length is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means the other focus is somewhere up there. Okay. So we have the hyperbola, basically, but we need to find Rx. So we can make our box and draw it. So again, 9 squared equals Rx squared plus Ry squared. So 81 equals Rx squared plus 9. So that would be 72. Rx equals the square root of 72. Well, the square root of 72 is, well, let's go by there. 81 is that, 9, 64, and 81. So it's between 8 and 9. So I'm going to just say 8.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and a half-ish. And now I can make my box. So I need to graph it by making the box. Okay, now I can put my asymptotes through there. Alright, and then if the vertices are here and here, that means you graph it this way. It's a very, very wide hyperbola. Alright, okay, so that's the hyperbola. Now we can come up with the equation. Since the vertices are in the y direction, Ry has to come first. Since the center is at 1, 2, my equation becomes y minus 2 squared over the Ry squared minus x minus 1 squared over Rx squared, which is 72, equals 1. So that's it. That's all we have to do. Now again, so you have to find Rx and Ry and the center is basically what happens here. And then decide which way is it opening up so you know which one to put first. So in this case the y goes first because it is opening up and down. Alright, so I talked about this yesterday. The conjugate axis is like the b-axis. Let's go back to the top here. The conjugate axis would be the non-vertice distance. So do you guys see that? So for example, in this case the conjugate axis would be from here to here. 1, 2, 3. It would be the root 72. The transverse axis would be 3 and 3, or 6 units long here. So on this one they're saying the conjugate axis is 6 units long, which means the other radius is 3, whatever the radius is, but we'll deal with that in a second. Let's do the vertices first. So I have -1, -2, and -1, 6. Okay, so if the vertices are here and here, I can find my center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the center is 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's at -1, 2. Now, I know then that Ry, because that's what's now given, is 4, which means that Rx is going to be half of 6, or 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I can now make my box. Because now my conjugate axis, which is not through the vertices, it's the other two, this has a length of 6. Okay? Now you can draw your asymptote lines. and then draw the vertice, or draw the hyperbola. It's up and down because the vertices are top and bottom here, so it's like this. So there's my hyperbola. I have Rx, we have said is 3, Ry is 4, so I can come up with my equation. The center's there. Since it's opening up and down and we moved up and down to get to the vertices, the y comes first. Y minus 2 squared over Ry squared is 16 minus x plus 1, because it's the opposite, squared over Rx squared, which is 9, is 1. I think that's all I had for today. So, much shorter than yesterday, but here, I want to review one more thing. I'll do it with this one. I can also get the asymptote equations. Remember, it's just the y piece from the center, so it's y minus 2 equals, the slope is Ry over Rx, always, plus or minus 4/3, and then the x piece is x plus 1. The transverse axis goes through the vertices, so it's a vertical line at x equals -1. And if I did want to find the foci here, because I don't have them, I'd say f squared equals 3 squared plus 4 squared, which actually is nice. That means f equals 5. So I'd move 5 from the center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's 4, so 5. So my foci are at -1, 7, and -1, -3. Okay? That's pretty much what we talked about yesterday. Today was really more just getting the equation, but I kind of want to review all the other pieces. And your homework actually is on your note sheet. It's on the back. You have 4 questions. Okay? Alright, that is it. I will see some of you guys Monday and Tuesday. We got SAT coming up, and I will talk to you later.